You didn't stay broke because the economy is rigged. You didn't stay broke because you weren't smart enough or didn't work hard enough. You stayed broke because some version of you, the version that got comfortable with mediocrity, is still alive. And today, we're killing it. Stop. Before you skip this, I need you to understand something. Everyone watching this video is one of two people: the person this video is talking about, or the person who used to be this person. There is no third option. Let me be direct about what this video is and what it is not. This is not motivational content. I'm not here to make you feel good about where you are. I'm not here to validate the effort you're already putting in. This is a diagnosis. And like any diagnosis, this is going to be uncomfortable. That's the point. The discomfort is the medicine. There are 5 reasons you're still broke. Not investment mistakes, not market timing, psychological ones. The kind that live in the decisions you make before you ever open a brokerage account. One of these reasons is going to make you want to close this video. Don't. Reason 1. You're optimizing for comfort, not wealth. The comfort addiction kills more financial futures than bad investments. Comfort is the enemy that never announces itself. It disguises itself as balance, as peace of mind, as not stressing. It sounds like, I work hard, I deserve this. And every single time you chose the comfortable path over the compounding path, you chose to stay poor longer. You just didn't call it that. Thomas Stanley spent decades researching wealth in America. His conclusion? 80% of millionaires are first-generation wealthy. They didn't inherit it, they built it. And the single trait they shared wasn't intelligence, it wasn't luck. It was a willingness to be permanently uncomfortable in the service of something that mattered more than comfort. The poor version of you is addicted to comfort. He needs to know the rent is paid on the first. He needs the steady paycheck. He needs to know what tomorrow looks like. The wealthy version of you is addicted to growth, and growth is never comfortable. Those two versions of you cannot coexist. But comfort addiction is just the surface layer. The real problem is what's underneath it. That's reason 2. Reason 2. You still think in wages, not assets. Trading hours for dollars is the poverty trap nobody talks about. The entire education system trained you to think in wages. More hours, more money. Promotion, wealth, work harder, get further ahead. That programming isn't accidental. It's the system working exactly as designed. You were trained to be an employee, not an owner. The Federal Reserve's 2023 survey of consumer finances tells you exactly what the gap looks like. The top 1%, 94% of their net worth is in assets. Not income, not salary, things they own, things that earn while they sleep. They didn't work their way to that. They owned their way there. Your boss doesn't pay you what you're worth. He pays you the minimum required to keep you from quitting. The only person who will ever pay you what you're actually worth is you. Look at what 30 years of wages looks like versus 30 years of ownership. Same dollars going in, radically different outcomes. One path has a ceiling, the other one doesn't. The question isn't whether to shift from wages to assets. The question is, how long are you going to wait? If you've already felt reason 1 and reason 2 somewhere in your chest, you are exactly the person this channel was built for. Stay with me. Because reason 3 is the one people share. It's the one you're going to send to someone you know. Reason 3. You're surrounded by the wrong people. Your social circle is setting your financial ceiling. This one is going to be uncomfortable for a different reason. Not because it's hard to hear, but because, if you're being honest with yourself, you already know it's true. Here's a scenario you've lived, maybe last week, maybe last year. You get an idea. A real one, something that actually excites you. And you make the mistake of sharing it with someone in your current circle. And within 60 seconds, they've named 3 reasons it won't work. When you tell broke people about your goals, they don't get inspired. They get uncomfortable. And then they start naming reasons why it won't work. They're not doing it to hurt you. I want you to hear that. They're doing it because of something called social homeostasis. The group has an equilibrium, a financial identity. And when one person tries to break out of it, the group unconsciously pulls them back in. That's not malice. That's survival behavior. But it will destroy your future just the same. This isn't opinion. Raj Chetty at Harvard analyzed 72 million Americans for a study published in Nature in 2022. The conclusion: social capital, specifically your exposure to higher income peers, is one of the strongest predictors of upward mobility in American history. Not your GPA, not your work ethic, who you're around. I want to know which one of these has already hit hardest for you. Drop it in the comments. Not for me, for you. Making it specific makes it real. Because reason 4 is where it gets practical and ugly. Reason 4. You're spending to signal, not to build. Looking rich and building wealth are opposite strategies. Consumer culture trained you to buy status symbols to signal wealth you don't have yet. Every dollar spent on signals is a dollar not compounding. And here's the part nobody says out loud. The people who are actually building wealth are almost invisible. No flex, no noise, no announcement. The most dangerous lie social media told you is that wealthy people want you to know they're wealthy. They don't. The guy leasing the BMW to impress people he doesn't like is not building a dynasty. He's funding someone else's. American Express spending research and CNBC found that households earning $75,000 to $100,000 carry on average over $10,000 in credit card debt. And the majority of it isn't emergencies. It isn't medical bills. It's the life they bought to look like they're winning. Here's the only audit you need. Screenshot this. Every purchase, every single one. Ask yourself 2 questions. Am I buying this to signal something to someone else? Or am I buying this to build something? There are only 2 answers, and one of them is making you poor. Person A spends $1,200 a month on lifestyle signals. In 10 years, $144,000 gone and 0 assets. Person B invests $1,200 a month at an 8% average return. In 10 years, over $220,000 in assets that keep growing. Same income, different decisions, a generation of distance. I'm going to tell you the last reason now, and I need you to understand something before I do. The last reason is why the other 4 don't matter. Stay with me. Reason 5, you haven't decided yet. Every other reason is downstream of this one. Most people who say they want to build wealth haven't actually decided to. They've wished for it. They've wanted it. They've consumed content about it for years, but they have not made the irreversible internal decision that changes behavior permanently. The Stoics understood this, the dichotomy of control. You cannot control markets. You cannot control inheritance. You cannot control timing. What you can control entirely is the moment of decision, and everything that flows from it. The decision is not a feeling you wait for. It is a line you cross. There is a version of you that has already made the decision. He doesn't negotiate with comfort. He doesn't explain himself to people who aren't building. He doesn't ask for permission to want more. He's already gone. The question is whether you're willing to become him, or whether you're going to stay here, watching videos about wealth, instead of living it. If that landed, the next video will hit harder. Subscribe now.